So the itinerary for this meeting, the first part is I want to talk about the purpose of defense. I think this is something that seems very elementary, but we talk about it almost every day. And since I read a really good book, we'll talk about here in a little bit, I've talked about it almost every day as a defensive coordinator because it's important to keep the main thing the main thing. The next thing we're going to talk about is the foundation, the cornerstones of our philosophy. And those come in three phases. First of all, the mentality of the defense and your philosophy, strategy, and tactics. So if you read The Art of War, Sun Tzu always talks about the two pieces of philosophy of strategy and tactics. Well, I just felt like there was another layer that is mentality, right? We have to develop the space between their ears first, and then we can talk about strategy, and then we can talk about tactics, or what we refer to as scheme or technique as coaches. The final thing is I wanted to try to show you guys how we implement this in our 5 basic first level jobs or skills. And this is only for the D-line. We actually have this for every position. It may not be 5, but I had our staff do a very important exercise during the pandemic, and it was something that fundamentally changed how I see defense and how I see football. After we did it. We'll go ahead and get into it. So the first thing, the purpose of defense. We lose sight of this as coaches, and I know after my first year as a defensive coordinator, we did not have a good year. We were 99th. And I told the defense that if we could become 98th, then that would be a success because that means we improved. And we did not. The next season, we were like the number 5 defense in the country, which was excellent and everybody was excited about. But then the following season, I was so used to having an entire season of 3 and outs. In a season where we only let, we had 17 or 20, maybe 20 red zone attempts on us the entire year, right? And we played 11 games, okay? So in one of those games we had 4, so there were games where we didn't have any. But I lost sight of the purpose of defense. I was wanting to get 3 and outs, and I felt like if they drove the ball, that something was going wrong. Now, our players also don't truly understand their purpose. Like one thing I do, at University of West Georgia, and now that I did here at Davidson, is I asked the players my first day is, what's the purpose of defense? And I think it's a good exercise for all of us to do as coordinators. What's the purpose of offense? What's the purpose of defense? If you're just a position coach, what's the purpose of being a defensive back? What is it? What is the purpose of being a D lineman? And let's see what are we out here for? And this perspective helps us keep the main thing, because the first purpose of defense is to keep the offense from scoring. That's it. Keep the offense from scoring. If you do that, then you do your job. Now, there's a number of ways to do that. But the second purpose is to gain possession of the ball. Again, there are a number of ways to do this. It's not just takeaways, not just interceptions and fumbles. You can gain possession of the ball on a 4th down stop, again, which keeps the offense from scoring. You can gain possession of the football on a punt block, a field goal block, right, which also keep the offense from scoring. But you can tie all of that. If you do those things, you're keeping the offense from scoring. Again, it seems elementary, but when you talk about it with your players, is it really? Test them. Ask them, what is the purpose of defense? Give me 3 of them, and I guarantee you they won't come up with all 3 of these. Might come up with 1, maybe 2, maybe. But the third one is to score. Like, we have to help the team win. Like, there's a saying that I love to say, and my coaches said when I was growing up, they can't win if they can't score. Well, I've heard coaches all the time say, well, that's not true. Well, we had a shutout, but our offense threw a pick 6. The purpose of defense is to keep the offense from scoring, gain possession of the ball, and score. And you have to be good enough at gaining possession of the ball, including one piece of it, takeaways, that you can score. And so if you lose a game, like it's not just, oh, well, we just did our part because we didn't let them score. No, there are 3 purposes to defense, to a great defense, to an attacking defense. And it's our job to complete these three pieces of the purpose every single game. This is from a book, actually. It's a book called The Radar Defense for Winning Football. I bought it for like $100 some odd on a rare book website. I read it years ago, but by Jules Yakupovich. It was written in the late 60s, early 70s. Absolutely fascinating book, and highly recommend it for any defensive coaches. I think he brings some timeless lessons like what is the purpose of defense. Now, the cornerstones of our philosophy. So it's important to understand that if it's not repeatable, it doesn't exist. If you think you have a philosophy but it's not written down and you can't reference it constantly, then it's not a philosophy. It's just your thoughts.